Welcome to the 517 In Your Business podcast. Here's your host, Mary Vida.
And we're back for another conversation with Eric Hanna, employee benefits consultant for Risk Strategies Company. Eric, so glad to have you on the podcast yet again. I feel like it's just becoming a regular show, Mary and Eric and 517 In Your Business.
It's good times. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I think we said it last time, the calendar just flips so fast. I can't believe, we're already back, recording another episode. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying this. So
I am as well. And I've been following you on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I see you have a lot of great LinkedIn content for folks. So I encourage them to follow you there. But I did notice an exciting update. Do you want to share?
Yeah, it's been an exciting few weeks. A couple days ago, I posted that Hospice of Lansing graciously invited me to join their board of directors. I'm deeply honored and looking forward to hopefully contributing to the mission in some small way. And like we've talked about, I have a nonprofit health and human services background, and I've known of and engaged with Hospice of Lansing for many years, and they have an amazing mission. And to me, critical importance in the Lansing community. And I was trying to think of how to best sum up my thoughts about hospice. And I came across this quote kind of in a LinkedIn feed, how the algorithm picks up on things.
Yes.
But the quote was, "Hospice is about choosing how we live, not just how we die." And I just thought that was really profound and indirectly points to how hospice impacts the person at end of life and the dignity they deserve, but also the surviving loved ones. I've personally seen how hospice can coach loved ones around those last stages, which can be deeply meaningful. So I'm grateful for the work they do. And I know we're going to talk with Heather, the executive director, here in a minute. So I'm excited she's here to share more.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're bringing this to light and that you're sharing your podcast time to tell more people about hospice. I have my family's used hospice on 2 occasions. And when you gave that quote, I about burst into tears. And I think anybody who has been through the experience of using hospice gets it. They know it. They know how profound the experience is and how important it is. And I don't really think there are better angels walking on this earth. So I really appreciate that you're sharing your time today with Hospice of Lansing. Do you want to introduce Heather for us?
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm really excited to have the executive director of Hospice of Lansing, Heather Vida, join us. She's a dynamic leader and moving things in the right direction with Hospice of Lansing. So I want to get out of her way because she's got a lot of cool stuff to share. But welcome, Heather. Glad to have you here with us.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mary. It's an honor to be here, and I appreciate it. And I love that quote as much as you do, Mary. That was amazing, Eric. And you can see absolutely why the caliber of who Eric is someone that we would like to have on our board and representing us, because that in itself is just amazing to have people in our community that want to support and understand the need for hospice and end-of-life care. So thank you, Eric, and thank you for giving me the time today. And it's great to be here.
Heather, so let's just start it off by explaining to those who may not know about the services. Tell us about Hospice of Lansing.
Well, actually, Hospice of Lansing is one of the oldest hospice organizations in our area. We were actually founded in 1979 by a group of doctors and nurses who were volunteering their time after their shifts outside of the hospital, volunteering to take care of people at end of life because they felt they needed that and deserved that. And that is how the organization started, and really is true to the mission that we are today by providing end of life care for people and focusing on that care, that comfort and support, not only for the patients, but for the family too. So it's over 45 years now here in our community. We did have our sister hospice, Ionia Area Hospice, join us in 1985. And then we opened our inpatient unit, which is over in South Lansing area. It's called Stoneleigh Residence. And so, the thing about hospice, as you guys mentioned too, that sometimes you don't even know about it until you need to know about it.
Right.
But once you know about it and need to, then that's where we come in.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little about your background, Heather, and how you came to Hospice of Lansing.
Well, I actually joined Hospice of Lansing back in 2013. And when I was first hired, I was the development director, which means I was our fundraiser, because we are a nonprofit. We're one of the 3 nonprofits in the area. And we really rely on community support for those extra items that we offer to our care. My mom would have told you that I was a fundraiser since birth and a community engagement person. That's just my upbringing and who I am. So when I moved back to the area from Chicago, because of getting married, I looked at some of my options and had personal experience with hospice with my aunt and with my grandparents, and saw this opportunity and thought, what a better way to give back and to share what the mission is and help educate. I think that's one of the biggest pieces that I have found with that position as a development director, and even now as the executive director, of the importance of educating what hospice services can do for people and what hospice isn't, as much as what it is. So those are some of the key things that I've been focusing on now.
It takes a very special person to work for hospice with very unique personality traits and a whole lot of compassion. My mom was a hospice nurse for many years, a volunteer nurse.
That's amazing. That is
Yes.
amazing. I agree with you. I did hear you mention to Eric, that they are angels. And honestly, our team is amazing, absolutely amazing. And the work that we do and who they are speak to that. And I'm just honored to be able to represent them.
Yeah. One of my childhood memories is seeing my mom take off with her kit and come back a few hours later and needing a little bit of space because it's such hard work. Let's dive into why end of life services are so important.
It's interesting because it's something that's end of life things. Obviously, we're all guaranteed that, right, in life, that that's what's going to happen. But we don't talk about it a lot until we absolutely have to. And that is one of the things that we are trying to work on, is to make that space to have a discussion about end of life okay, and to have it be acceptable and have it realize that we're here to support you. There's so much healing and things that can happen towards the end of life, and we spend so much time celebrating someone's birthday, and when they come into this world, that last chapter is equally as important to even celebrate. And I know that sounds a little silly at times, or some people kind of look at me like I'm crazy, but it really is. And it's one of those things that you can really embrace the family, the patient, and help educate that it doesn't have to all be a bad thing. Because we're always looking for being healed and being corrected, and the medical industry always has their way of trying to help you, and then you get to a point and they say that, I'm sorry, we can't, so then we call
Right.
hospice. So I think sometimes hospice can get that bad rep, if you will. But if you actually engage earlier on in hospice services, there's statistics and numbers and things like that that actually show people do live a little bit longer when they engage earlier in the services. And so it's so much more than I think sometimes people realize.
And not only do they potentially live longer, but just the dignity that
Absolutely.
hospice brings, and just allowing people, and because you not only help the patient, you help the family. And I think that's what a lot of people don't know. You just bring Hospice brings a sense of calm to the chaos. You're not alone when
Right.
hospice is there. And that's what's been so important to me.
And you bring up a great point with that, Mary, because we actually have a bereavement program that is offered to our community. And it's not one of those programs where if we hadn't taken care of a loved one of yours that, you're not allowed to be a part of it. We actually try to outreach to workplaces and to schools and to different areas that are in need of that connection, and that time and that safe space to have. Grief is a journey, and it really is, an aspect, and it's not about getting over something. It's about going through it and working
Right.
together and being able to provide that for the community members, whether we've actually taken care of your loved one or not. So
So well said.
that
When you're going through this heartache and this traumatic time with an end of life journey for a loved one, it's hard to think. You get confused, you get overwhelmed, you get angry, you get
mhm,
sad. And then there's that worry about cost that comes to
sure.
mind. How are hospice services paid for?
Well, actually, most of the hospice services are covered through Medicaid, Medicare, private insurances. I think that's a lot of the time the medical care is what, obviously people are most concerned about, and we work with every family to make that happen. We also work with any of the families that fall in those gaps that actually either don't have insurance, they're either underinsured or no insurance. We also work with family members that need to come to our inpatient unit, because the only cost that comes into there is a room and board cost, but otherwise the actual medical side of it, we work with them any way we can to make sure all of that is covered and taken care of. A family will never get a bill from us. And in addition to the medical side of the team, we're also providing massage therapy, music therapy, pet therapy, some of those extra things that you don't realize how much you love those, and how important they are to really just take care of the holistic look of a person and their soul, and just making sure that they are comfort. And those things, those extra things bring that to the table.
Absolutely. And it seems like nonprofits are carrying extra weight in general right now, a lot of pressure in this current day and age. How is that affecting Hospice of Lansing?
Well, right now we're very lucky, because we are on kind of status quo with things. But in this industry and in healthcare overall, I think we are all very much on guard, and every nonprofit is that has any kind of federal funding, to just pause, look at what we're doing, keep to the mission that you're trying to accomplish, and just stay the course. That is where a lot of our fundraising efforts come in, though, to make sure we can provide those extra therapies that I mentioned, but also fill in the gaps of anything that we have from an operational side. That's pretty critical for us, as well as, and as I mentioned, many other nonprofits out there. But it can be challenging today with the atmosphere, and you just have to take one day at a time and see where we're going to go, and make sure that everybody's covered and taken care of that day. You get up the next morning, you do it again.
Right. Now, how important is community involvement and involvement from your board?
It's huge. It's huge. We actually are required by Medicare, to have 5% of our budget covered in volunteer hours. So it is critical for volunteer support for us to be approved through the Medicaid, Medicare services. But overall, what a volunteer group can do, even just coming to Stoneleigh to fix up the lawn, right? To help with rake some of the leaves and, pick up those things. Our board of directors is vital to who we are as an organization, to help set the tone as far as our mission, what our goals are moving forward. And they're not paid to do that. And that is their time and their energy and their hours that they put in. And they do it because they're passionate about what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do. And honestly, we couldn't do it without them. And we're always looking for excellent volunteers, and also people that would like to be part of our committees. Eric's been with us for a while in different kind of capacities. And so now that he's come onto the board, it gives us an opportunity to really see what we can do and how we can affect the community together.
What are the attributes of a good volunteer for hospice? I mean, I know you have options, right? You talked about lawn maintenance and other things, but what kind of people are you looking for?
Well, we try to match them with what it is that they want to do. Because sometimes we have the, administrative people, sometimes we have facility people. But what we really love to have are folks who are interested in that companionship, if you will, just to sit with someone.
Yes.
Just to be there, read to them, watch TV with them. And it's not a medical side of things. We're not asking them to do anything to that point. It really is just that opportunity to have exposure and be together, so that no one is alone. Our volunteers will go to facilities sometimes, they'll go to in the house, and just be an extra set of hands, be there so their caretaker can run to the grocery store, right? Just do some extra things. So the people we want to engage with have that heart, have that compassion, have that patience, because as you mentioned already, there's a lot of atmosphere that can surround when someone is dying. And we want to make sure that it works for our volunteer as well as for the family. So there's a lot of options, but really it's the heart that we're looking for, the heart of hospice and the heart to take care of people.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when you describe that kind of person because they're just amazing to me. Events and activities coming up? You've got some things in the works.
We do. Actually, next Thursday, we have our biannual memorial ceremony. And that actually is an opportunity that we honor the patients that we've taken care of in 2025. But we also honor anyone that wants to come in, whether we've helped you or not. It's just an opportunity for kinship and fellowship and to talk about your loved one in a safe space with other people that are on that same path with you. That happens next Thursday on October 9th. We're over at the Unity Church, and the information is right on our website too, if people are interested. And then from a fundraising aspect, we actually have two things in the works right now. On October 16th, we are hosting a designer purse bingo.
That sounds so fun.
It actually, this will be our second one that we've done. We did it last year and 275 people. It was huge and it was amazing. And it was 20 purses and designer by, the actual designers, the big names, the Louis Vuittons and the Donna Karens and Michael Kors and all of those good stuff.
Amazing.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And that is October 16th coming up. And one of the other things that we're working on, which I'd love to share with you at a different time and more about as we develop our plans, is we're actually looking at expanding Stoneleigh and adding 4 more suites so that we can be able to support the community further, because our waiting list at Stoneleigh continues to grow. And if we have those other suites, we'll be able to take care and have more of an effect in the community for our friends and our families and whoever needs it, really.
Anything else that you think that anyone listening should know about Hospice of Lansing or hospice in general?
If I would add anything, I would say, one of the biggest comments and feedback we get from our families is, we wish we would have called you sooner. Because I think that there's so much hesitation that is around hospice services, and not everybody truly understands what we can provide for them. And so I always encourage people, just ask questions. Let us talk to you. If your loved one is not ready for hospice, we'll tell you that too. If they are, let us help you. Let us be that extra set of hands that come in. Let us be that extra set of eyes to help overlook things. We have a full team of nurses, aides, volunteers, counselors, everyone that can come and help you be there. And if at any point in time they want to go back and choose to go for treatment, absolutely. We're not here to stop anyone from doing it. Our job is not to speed up the process. Our job is not to slow it down. Our job is to care for you how you want to be cared for. I think that's important to people to know.
I think we have to remove ourselves from that denial phase.
Yes.
Of, when it's time to call, that means it's time, right? We have to let our guard down and allow hospice to come in, and because it just makes such a difference. I can't say that enough. It's incredible.
Yes, I think our team is pretty amazing. I will take zero credit for their work of what they do, but I am happy to represent them because they're just unbelievable. Their hearts are true gold, and what we do every single day means and does make a difference. And I'm committed to that, and so is our team.
Heather, thank you for what you do for our community and so many people in it. And thanks for sharing more about Hospice of Lansing today. And Eric, thank you for allowing Heather in on your time on this podcast for such an important cause.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thanks for listening to the 517 In Your Business podcast. Get to know local businesses better by reading 517 Business Magazine. Get your subscription at 517mag.com/subscribe.